Warrior Nun, Series 1, Episode 1, titled Patterns 465. And this is, of course, the first episode of the brand new Netflix show based on a manga, American-style comic, but on the same name, which I have not read. Just knew it was based on a comic because of Wikipedia. So, there's that. So I'm watching this show, at least watching this first season, with fresh new eyes. And I have to say this is not good. This is not a good first impression. There's a lot of problems. I mean, first things first, the big giant issue is sound quality. This show has a bad case of sound mixing. You know, in sound mixing, is all putting the sounds together and mixing them well and make them gel, make them good, right? The problem with this, it feels like there's a scene where, you know, two characters, a main character Ava, and this other character, the guy that she had, is, you know, the cute guy that she is in love at first sight, that kind of thing. And they're talking, and they appear, and I could hear their foot hitting the wood, tapping on the wooden pier. I can hear the seagulls. I could hear the ocean and the waves and all that kind of stuff. But the one thing I couldn't hear is them. Like, seriously. Like, they put all the sound effects right up there, and it's like, this is the most important thing. You need to have the audience understand what the fuck the old characters not are saying, but hearing them. You know, and it's really, I mean, it happens out through the entire episode, where you're like, they're saying very important information, but I had no idea what they're saying, and it's not me being offensive or anything. It's just someone put the, you know, mixing on like a certain volume, and didn't want to go up for whatever reason. Anyway. But that's why this episode is slow. It can be sluggish sometimes. There's certain choices that I feel wasn't that well put together. I mean, the concept of this episode is you got Ava, who is, at the beginning, she is dead. And while in like a priest's church kind of morgue, and while she's there in her table, people, priestess and nuns looking down at her, a group of warrior nuns show up, and then you have this whole thing of one's dying, the bad guys show up, there's a wing on the dying nun's back, they put it in Ava comes back to life, she has powers, and she is walking around and kind of having this joy life of like, oh my god, I'm alive, right? Those first 10 minutes, oh my god, that was rough to go through. Cause you're thinking, wait, we've seen these kind of openings before. What's the problem? Because it never felt fluent. It just felt like, and now this happened, and now this happened, and now this happened, which is fine, but it has a certain fluidity, and just felt it was dragging so much. It's like someone was too afraid to hear the word. Like, they loved their material, the script so much, and what they shot was so much, and they were afraid to edit. There's a scene when the Ava goes into a bar and follows this red smoke thing, you know, and she's dancing and probably drinks her first alcohol, and I'm like, what's the point in this scene? Cut it out. You can have her following the red trail at the end, which she does. What's the point of it? And also, there's these inner monologues, and I felt like it's a little bit of, maybe it's in the comic and it's one of those things. Oh, it's so great in the comic, we'll put them in those. I don't know, but it felt like a little bit of, this is a character in this first episode who isn't going to say much. Our main character, Eva, is not going to say much, so we need to put dialogue in so we don't bore them to death. And I'm like, that's a bit assaulting to your audience. Let the visual speak herself. Yes, she's putting her hand through sand. Yes, she's jumping into pools and all that, and she's this and that. It's so far, this first episode is not a good way to start. And so it's 10 episodes. It's 9 more episodes to go, and I hope it's a little bit of like, okay, now hopefully now we can build off, and hopefully we can kind of get something good here versus this cringy first episode.